the keynote. What are you guys working on? Are we going to see a big Cataclysm cinematic?
Absolutely. We're going to have a big Cataclysm cinematic. We're working on it right now as we speak. Obviously, it's in production, so we don't have much to show.
Right.
Unfortunately, ours aren't really, you can't really show much work in progress. You just have to get it done, and then you show it. So that's where we're with
BlizzCon next year, maybe, I guess?
Possibly, yeah.
All right, excellent. We can't wait to hear more about that.
So I want to back up a little bit for people who aren't familiar with you. Can you explain exactly what your role is within the cinematics department?
Sure. My title is Cinematic Project Lead. It basically means that I see a project from start to finish, directing it. So I'll sit in the story meetings and get notes from the lead story people like Chris Metzen and those guys, and Rob Pardo, and take those back to the team, make sure they all understand it, and just see the process from that point all the way to the final frames. So I work with the art directors, I work with all the supervisors and so on and so forth, and make sure that everyone stays on path and gets the project done the way it's supposed to be.
How different is that process in doing a cinematic for Blizzard than it is for doing, a scene to a movie?
It's actually not different at all. We start out exactly like most major CG studios with a script, and then we go into storyboards, make sure those all fleshed out because we can iterate on that really quickly and do it rather cheaply. And once we do that, we send it over to the modeling team and the animation teams and all the other teams, and pretty much exactly the same as you would do a full CG movie.
Wow. And now you guys are doing in-game cinematics for StarCraft 2. I think there's 45 minutes of in-game cinematics. For the team going forward, how are you guys going to approach cinematics? Are you really going to, continue down the pre-rendered path for certain games and then also do in-game cinematics for other titles?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll start out, we'll have the script and we'll pick the best moments for the pre-rendered cinematics because we really want to have those, really, really great pre-rendered cinematics for the best parts of the story. But the reason why we've taken on the in-game cinematics is so that we can tell more story. So because we still need to model and animate, but it's a lot quicker to generate the actual final rendered frames.
Right.
So like you said, we have a lot more content for StarCraft 2, and we're able to tell a lot more story that way, and hopefully get the player more involved with the lore behind the game.
What is the difference in timing, let's say for a typical 30-second clip inside a game, if you were to do a pre-render full-blown Blizzard mode versus one of your
Sure. So once you have the script written, because that can take a while, depending on what you want to do. We usually do about a 3 or 4 minute pre-rendered cinematic for, like, WoW, for instance, and that can take up to a year sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes a little bit less, but around that. The in-game cinematics take quite a bit less time because a lot of the time that's taken on the pre-rendered stuff is really the rendering and the compositing and the lighting, and that's all already pre-baked into the in-game engine. So, so once you get the animation and modeling in place, then you can crank out a lot of those a lot quicker.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, well, we got a lot of Twitter questions for you right now, Jeff, so we're going to get to some of the fan questions here. And if you guys have a question, you can send it to us. At Jeff Keighley is where I'm taking a lot of the questions here. Let's see. Here's a question from Kalon. It says, with the Cataclysm revamp with old races like gnomes and trolls, will they be getting cinematic intros as well?
Sorry, I could barely hear.
Will they be getting cinematic intros for the gnomes and trolls in Cataclysm?
We're not ready to reveal that yet.
All right, fair enough.
You'll have to wait and see.
We can move
I think
right.
Everybody will be very pleased with what we do, though.
Excellent. All right, we can move on from that one then to another Twitter question. This is from Pone Cloud, who says, which 3D modeling program is most used in the production of cinematics? What people are interested in, being animators, getting a job at Blizzard. What do you actually use technically to make these happen?
That's a great question. Primarily, in the past, we've been a 3D Studio Max house, but recently we've switched over. So now our modeling department still uses 3D Max and Mudbox mostly. And then our animation and rendering department uses Maya and RenderMan. So those are the primary ones.
Fantastic. Yeah, well, you guys do an amazing job with that.
Do you have anything proprietary that you guys use, or?
Yeah, absolutely. We, if we need to do something, then we'll see if there's something that already exists that does that, and if that's the case, we'll buy that. But if we don't, then we have a whole full tools team that will generate whatever we really need, and they're all brilliant guys, so works out.
Awesome. Well, we can't wait to see more from the Cinematics department in the future. We've been watching your stuff over the past 2 days. It looks phenomenal as always, Jeff. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And now we're going to head into a feature looking at one of the cool things that's here at the Blizzard store. This is one thing that everyone was anticipating was going to sell out the fastest. It's the StarCraft poker set, and we've got an exclusive look at it right now.
Hey, I'm Nick Carpenter. I'm the creative director of Blizzard Cinematics. So I had an opportunity to be a part of this project, the StarCraft 2 poker set, which was pretty exciting. We had come up with a couple different ideas when we were developing these characters and trying to figure out who these guys were, and it seemed obvious if we were going to make some sort of poker set that it would be a field issue poker set that these guys actually would have received in the field in the StarCraft world. So we started thinking about it, and we're talking about who these guys are, Tychus and Jim Raynor, and we're like, well, if they got this poker set, they probably would have drawn on it. And so we started thinking about the characters and the interactions. So we figured, well, why not make it a Dominion-based poker set? And then they would have got it and actually in the field when they're out in the battle, just writing on it going, you know what, this is, you know, this Manx, he's a pretty boy, right? So they draw something on him, and, you know, you got different cards with lipstick on it saying, "We love you, Jim Raynor," which is a cool way to let fans see what these guys would actually do if they actually had a field issue poker set. In cinematics, we have an art department, and it's comprised of about 4 or 5 guys, and we just sat down and started talking about different ideas, and everybody just got a chance to brainstorm different ideas, and we just picked the ones that we thought were most appropriate for the card set itself. When we were developing the cards, we were thinking, okay, this is a pretty daunting task if we want to go in and actually put unique artwork on each card. So we started taking a look at what we developed for StarCraft 2, and there's all this different 2D artwork, and we figured it would be a great place to pull from some of these resources. And so we started there, and we started pinning it to some of the cards, and what we realized really quickly is even though we had existing art, we were going to have to paint a lot of unique art. It just gave it a unique, authentic feel. So one of the things with the case that we're pretty geeked up about is we were talking about these guys being in the field, and we're talking about ammo cases, and we're figuring how cool would it be if we actually made it look like an ammo case that they actually took and molested their names, you know, Raynord's Raiders, and they actually wrote on it. So the idea is that it's a mock-up of an ammo case that they would actually receive in combat. So that's pretty cool. And it's got some rust and some little details on it that just make it feel like it's part of that used future, that StarCraft 2 universe. A couple of my favorites, obviously, are the Queen of Blades Kerrigan, because we thought that was really cool. We actually had it taped over the top of a picture of Manx's wife, so we figured why not use the Queen for the Queen of Blades, which was pretty cool. Another one is there's a card set in here of Heaven's Devils, and if you actually put all 3 of them together, it actually spells Heaven's Devils, so it's pretty cool. It's kind of a little puzzle. Because this item is only going to be available at BlizzCon, I'm assuming most players aren't going to actually want to play with it, but my hope is that these will actually get some wear and tear on them, and people actually, you know, write their own little sayings instead of making them their own. Something else that's pretty cool is development. The people that are actually creating the games actually get involved creating this content, this unique content that's at BlizzCon. And it gives the developers a chance to not only change their everyday routine and get a chance to work on some stuff that the fans are actually going to get their hands on, but it also gives us a chance to connect with fans in a way we normally don't. So we're pretty excited having worked on it. So that's the card set. I hope you guys get a chance to actually get a hold of one of these because they're going to go pretty quick. We had a lot of fun working on it, and we hope you guys enjoy it.
That's the StarCraft 2 poker set, which is selling like hotcakes over at the Blizzard stores here at BlizzCon 2009.
It's actually sold out now.
Officially sold out,
Officially
Kat.
sold out. There's no more.
Go to eBay. I should check on the computer how much it's going for on eBay.
I know, we should actually.
We'll do that after. All right, but right now joining us is Kim Pham, who's going to give us an update on the tournaments. A lot of exciting action over there, and I hear that the Americans are actually not completely out of it, right?
On which tournament?
Well, there are many tournaments, I know. Exactly.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think on the WoW tournament, U.S. is doing really well.
Exactly, that's what we're referring to.
There's a team, a TSG. They're currently waiting in the grand finals, so that's really exciting. But I want to talk about the StarCraft match that's coming up.
Well, we've got actually TSG here on the board, where it's proving that the American team TSG is now, they won the championship bracket, so they are going into the grand final here. Very exciting to see an American team doing this well. Do they normally do this well in World of Warcraft arenas?
I don't think anyone was expecting them to make it this far. I mean, they placed second in the U.S. regionals, and they kind of upset Existence, I think.
And they're going to play the winner of Existence and ship it in the grand final.
So they may face Existence again.
All right, well, we'll be interested to see what happens there. A lot of money on the line, but Kim, you were talking about some really interesting things that are happening, especially in the StarCraft tournament, right?
Right, so the StarCraft match is taking place right now. The grand finals is happening, and it's an exciting match to look forward to. The top 3 players that have made are all Zerg players, so that's something that's new, that's never happened before. Right now we have Effort, who is a Zerg player from Korea, no no surprise there, going up against Mental Zero, who is also a Korean player from
so two Koreans in the final, as was widely expected, right?
Yeah, definitely expected. A lot of people are favoring Effort to win. He's a fan favorite. He's considered a rookie, but you know what? So is Zero. He's also a new person in the pro gaming scene for Korea. But both of them definitely look forward to watching the match. Anything can happen. And, you know, the unique thing is you have 3 Zergs that have made it to the top 3 spot. That has never happened before in any professional tournament.
That'll be a fun game to watch, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're actually going to go take a live look now at that grand final match and show everyone what's happening. You can see this in its entirety over at BlizzCon.com. But this is looking at what's going on right now in the match between the 2 Korean players. This is the grand final, Effort versus Mental, and these guys are playing through. And we're going to go soundful and hear a little bit of the shoutcasting about what's going on right now. Let's listen in.
Third starting location on the map. So he doesn't actually know that he has this huge advantage right now. He could actually win the game with just these 6 Zerglings. And you can see all of a sudden the expansion's been canceled. He realizes, oh no, I certainly can't get away with it. A build like this, my opponent is rushing me. He goes in and cancels. He's going to make a sunken colony right here. I love that placement. Very hard to get to. Blocked up by these buildings as well as these mineral patches. And of course, it's tough to attack through these workers, so that's going to keep him safe. But these Zerglings are rapidly getting closer. He's going to have to get those defenses up fast.
You know, this is really great to see from Zero. He's normally not known for his strategic play. Normally it's his mechanics, his macro that you look at. But look at this, being very smart. And here come the Zerglings. The Sunken is now up, and he's going to attack the Sunken. Okay, see, he has to run away. The drone drill was coming, was going to mess up that Zergling AI. And nice little counter there by Zero.
You know, Zero's actually bouncing back pretty quickly. He's going to go straight for a layer. He's turtling pretty heavily here. We see that our yellow Zerg here, Effort, is doing the same thing. They're both going to be rushing for Mutalisks. Effort just trying to apply a little bit of pressure. He might be able to get a few drones over here in this corner, but pretty much everything else is covered by this sunken colony around this area.
Yeah, that Sunken is very well placed. And look at this. He wants to kill this hatchery if he can. Not enough Zerglings out for Zero quite yet, so he is hatching a few more. Expect to see a lot of Zerglings coming into play on Zero's side here, especially with that second hatchery going up.
We can see the layer finishes. Here's a Zerg Spire. He does have a slight economic advantage here in the sense that he did not have to waste one worker and turn it into a building. He can instead use that to mine resources.
That's right, and it looks like Effort is actually going to stop Zergling production at this point. It looks like he will throw up a second hatchery as well, so we're definitely going to see him save up for a few mutas here. And basically, I think he just wants to keep Zero in Zero's base. You know, he's already spent money on that Sunken, and he had to cancel the hatchery early, of course. And be careful there, Zero. What are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know about that move there. Effort has more Zerglings, but he did bait him in here. You got to be very careful. Every unit counts. Out of all the matchups in StarCraft, this is the one where you can produce the least amount of units. Zerg can attack so fast that you really don't get to tech up to the hive even. So, okay, we see some action over here. Clearly superior control here by the yellow player.
Effort right there with some brilliant micro. Really, it's so hard to micro Zergling versus Zergling. They're so tiny, they're so fast, they die so quickly. It's really nice play. Look at how many he has left against how many Zero had there. Really quite astounding. I would say that Effort is definitely in the lead right now.
You know, I'm getting a little bit worried here. We see the Spires done. There's going to be at least 4 Mutalisks, 3 to start. The 4th one will hatch pretty soon. The Spire's not even done. I think the sand is running out of the hourglass right now. We need to see our Zerg player Zero actually come up with something to respond to this. He might have to get Scourge, which make a little bit faster than Mulas, because the Mulas are on the way now. The tech building is not yet finished. He needs to start making those Mulas fast. A little bit late even there with pumping those out. And these Mulas are going to get in here. He's going to have to micro his drones well and avoid the shots here.
Wow.
We see one goes down.
The timing of those mutas is just brilliant. Look at that. He's just sitting there killing drones. The Zerglings were used very, very well, too. They killed off a drone. They killed off some lings. And now he can just run these away as eggs hatch open, basically. You know, if Scourge pop out, you just run away and micro against them. If mutas pop out and there's not enough, then you kill him.
Okay, he's on the run now. Bit of a dogfight here in the air. But actually, Effort's micro is still good.
Wow.
And manages to take out those Scourge. We see a little bit of action here. Neither player can really afford to retreat right now because at this point in time, if you retreat, they're going to get shot down as you run away.
Yeah, you got to be careful now. Zero has his mutas out, and he is just getting every single hit he can. But the rallies just keep coming, and the advantage keeps on turning here. It's hard to tell who's winning at any point.
I have to say, it looks like Effort's control is just slightly better. We can see all the Mutalisks very wounded.
Wow.
He does come out on top. As you notice, he microed his way back up here like this. so that his opponent would get closer and closer to the rally point, which was set there. Very nice.
Yeah,
but look, here's the bigger problem, is how many drones are mining minerals? Now take a look over here.
Yeah, Effort's economy right now is sick, and we just saw, right as we clicked away there, a bunch more drones hatching.